so literally where I'm standing now, on the left-hand side of me is the Badger. In front of me is the Georgian staircase. Obviously, Georgian staircase isn't here in 1624. Essentially, what we'd have been looking at where I am now is behind me is the front door. This would have been the front door to the house, and we'd have walked into the hall. Now, we call it the parlour, which is more of a Victorian word, but essentially the hall in here would have been exactly where I'm standing. I'd have walked in directly into the hall. Now, talking to an old custodian of the property, when the Ministry of Works, Peter Trickett was here, who I've met, and he told me about where the bottom of the staircase is when they were doing works. There is a casement window there, original 1624 casement window. So where the top step of the platform from the staircase to the top, where you see the stair rods finish and you go onto that landing section, that would have been kind of roughly just above that, the top of the window, and that is still actually there. If we were to look through that window right now, we would be looking very much kind of in line, similar towards where the workshops are, towards where the chickens and ducks are currently located. And that actually would have been the back door of the house. In that section where you go through the oratory, you can see now there's the little archway where there's the picture on the wall. That actually would have been the back door of the house in 1624. Once again, Peter Trickett's seen through work the actual casement the hinges there, so he's actually eyewitnessed those things.
So just to clarify, those hinges are where the sort of tapestry
is, yes. So I think he was mentioning on the left hand side there, that's where the hinges were, and that would have been the back door of the house itself. So it's nice that we're able to kind of piece in these things that we can't visibly see now. But like with any property, you get workmen coming in, you see the things, and then it gets put back over, and then unless that information carries on, it dies,
So what about this wall that is between us and the parlour?
Okay, so that wall itself now makes the room much shorter than it would have been in 1624. When you actually go into the parlour itself, you can see above us let's call it caramel or gold painted beams. Those themselves give us a key indicator of how this room would have been size-wise. Because if we look over to the window, from where the window wall is to that first original beam, if we call that section A, and then from that next beam where the fireplace is, and you can see the panelling, that section B to that next gold timber. Yeah. Then if you look behind us, where we now are looking at the painting of the lady and the panelled wall, remember, this isn't here in 1624. This has been added in later with the Georgian staircase. We've got to shove that wall back. The whole of that wall needs to be pushed back, and that needs to then go to where you see the door at the bottom of the staircases. That's where that original wall would have been. Once again, I've measured it. I've got tape out. So then you've got section C. So, it would have then moved across, and you'd have had 3 bays.
Equal bays.
Yeah. So that, like most properties, if you go to that era, the fireplace itself would have been central, and it would have been equal bays across that top section of the ceiling. And that kind of gives you a key indicator of what that the exact original length of it would have looked like, which is something, once again, that was always debated. Was this room bigger? There were scraps of information whether it was, whether it wasn't, and then from talking to Peter Trickett, you've then got that situation where there's a window there. Automatically, we then know, yes, it was, and it all kind of fits into place, and it doesn't become just kind of ideas, it becomes reality. You also do have in here, where you look in the corner, there is it's kind of a cupboard under the stairs, let's call it. You've got the 3 little bits of cupboard in there. There is a section where the red curtain is, which juts out a little. Once again, he mentioned that there is a window actually here behind this, and that's another casement window from 1624.
So that's beyond the oratory, isn't it?
So that is. So if you can imagine, if I was to look through this window right now, so essentially in front of me I've got the door open, which is from the cupboard. Obviously that wouldn't have been here in 1624, but I would have been looking out now, probably where the pigs are, across. And once again, you've got more light coming into this room, but also that backs onto the back door. You see what's coming, see what's going on. The whole of Boscobel, people, you've got to kind of look, and it's exciting to do as well, but I'm a bit of a geek. But it's one of those things you can kind of imagine what that house is looking like. If someone's coming to the back door, you want to know about it. We were saying about the entrance in the 1595 section. you can, a bit like at Moseley Old Hall above Mr. Whitgreaves' study, you'd actually be able to look above that and see who's coming to that front door. We've got all of those kind of layers going on, it's all about kind of seeing what's coming to the house and from where from.